Hey guys, Tyler here. The Sheliak are an intelligent, non-humanoid alien species in Star Trek. Despite being featured in only one episode of The Next Generation and having relatively low name recognition, they are, in my opinion, one of the most fascinating aliens in Star Trek from a cultural and pure biology standpoint. A warp-capable civilization hailing from the Sheliak system, the Sheliak govern an interstellar body called the Sheliak Corporate. They consider humanoids to be lower life forms, more akin to creatures than other sapient beings. But besides this xenophobic attitude, what else can we determine about this species' psychology and evolution? Let's find out. But first, a word from today's sponsor, Star Trek Fleet Command. Star Trek Fleet Command is a free-to-play open-world MMO that not only puts your skills and strategies to the test, but also delivers an amazing experience with some of the best graphics I've seen in a mobile game, and a new, immersive Star Trek story in the Kelvin timeline. Enter a galaxy on the brink of war as Federation, Klingon, and Romulan forces vie for control of the Alpha and Beta quadrants, and discover an ancient secret that could tip the balance of power forever. Command a starbase on the edge of Federation space, recruit iconic officers, and build powerful ships like the Enterprise, Romulan Warbird, and Klingon Bird of Prey. Looking for some more action? Then feel free to join millions of players, forge alliances, defeat your enemies, and build an epic fleet to secure or dominate the galaxy. Download Star Trek Fleet Command on Android using the link in the description. Get it on the Amazon App Store where you can save money while getting your hands on other amazing games. Or get it on iOS using the other link. Thanks to Scopely and Amazon for sponsoring this video. We don't know lots of details about the Sheliak homeworld, but there's reason to believe it may be a Class H, or desert planet, as the 2255 Treaty of Amiens with the United Federation of Planets ceded several Class H worlds to the Sheliak. Before this, the Sheliak largely had no contact with the Federation. One of the planets ceded under the treaty, Tau Cygni 5, was settled by survivors of the colony ship SS Artemis, which crash-landed on the planet in 2274. The Artemis was originally destined for Septimus Minor, but a guidance system failure caused it to drift far off course, and Tau Cygni 5 was the only suitable planet on which to land. Over the next 90 years, the settlers built a colony with their technology, growing to a population of over 15,000 by 2366. Breeding like rabbits, ain't it? Their descendants are immune to the hyperonic radiation of Tau Cygni 5's atmosphere, a trait which also presumably applies to the Sheliak. The TNG episode The Ensigns of Command depicts the Enterprise D crew's efforts to negotiate a resettlement of the colony and gives us our sole look at the Sheliak in canon. According to production sources, the Sheliak were to appear draped in black mucus-secreting folds, with what at least appeared to be a head protruding at the top. Indeed, this is the best description that I can find of what the Sheliak are supposed to actually look like, since the director with whom Picard and Troy interact is basked mostly in darkness. The Sheliak view Federation languages as irrational, with their own language long eluding Federation experts. Attempts to establish telepathic communication have even failed. Indeed, the Sheliak demand a level of complexity to the Treaty of Amiens that would eliminate all ambiguity. 372 Federation legal experts are required to draft the treaty, which contains 500,000 words. As we see in the episode, the Sheliak initially refused to give the Federation any extra time to evacuate the colony, though they eventually agree in order to prevent the matter from going to third-party arbitration. The capital of the Sheliak Corporate may be located in the star system Beta Lyrae, whose Arabic name is, as it turns out, Sheliak. Beta Lyrae was previously featured in an episode of Star Trek the Animated Series, The Slaver Weapon. The system is depicted as being within the vicinity of Kzinti space, but canon star charts put both the Kzinti Patriarchy and Starbase 25 closer to core Federation territory, as opposed to Beta Lyrae, which is 960 light-years away. The location of Tau Cygni 5 is also dubious, as on-screen text in the episode indicates it is at least 5,000 light-years from the Sol sector. This would conflict with the location of the similarly named Tau Cygni, which is a mere 69 light-years from Earth, though it could be a distant, dim optical companion of Tau Cygni, despite no such object being known to real-world astronomy. In any event, both Tau Cygni and the Sheliak homeworld are meant to be distant. The non-canon FASA RPG sourcebook, The Federation, states that a Federation world resides in the Beta Lyrae system, though this was published before the Next Generation came on air. Memory Beta suggests that by the 24th century, this system may have disaffiliated with the Federation or otherwise been abandoned. Alternatively, the Sheliak could have a disputed claim on part of the territory, which would not be totally out of the realm of possibility. You see, Beta Lyrae is only 23 million years old. Why does this matter? Well, 23 million years is really not enough time to give rise to complex life, let alone an intelligent civilization. This is even taking into account how Beta Lyrae's components, both bright B-type blue stars, would provide extra energy to any complex molecules on the surface of an orbiting planet. Except this light would be so energy-rich that it would likely sterilize any organic molecules without the protection of a super dense ozone layer. Even then, planets around blue stars are generally expected to be way too young to harbor familiar carbon-based life, although the Sheliak aren't familiar life forms. Regardless, it's still way more likely, in my opinion, that the Sheliak are native to a different biosphere, with Beta Lyrae, if it's even truly associated with them, simply being their base of operations. The Sheliak body plan is somewhat akin to marine life, like slugs and mollusks, despite of course probably hailing from a desert world. This is consistent with the Sheliak's preference for living in environments that are the same temperature as their bodies. They even have bioluminescent marks on the sides of their heads, a trait common to life forms that inhabit dark environments. All in all, their design is probably one of the most creative for a Star Trek alien that I've seen. There's only so much that we can discover about the Sheliak from canon. Even non-canon works only flesh them out so much further. According to the novel The Buried Age by Christopher L. Bennett, territory of the Breen Confederacy resides near the Sheliak, which is a source of conflict between the two empires. The Sheliak are also among the Alpha and Beta Quadrant powers who helped create and deploy a temporal defense grid in secret by the 25th century. According to Bennett's novel, Watching the Clock. What is this temporal defense grid for, you might ask? Well, of course, to defend against temporal marauders. What else would it be? Going back to their biology, it's also my belief that the Sheliak could have evolved on a world orbiting just about any type of star. Perhaps underground on a hothouse world orbiting a bright yellow-white star, or perhaps on a dim CO2-rich world orbiting a red sun. Either one could explain their dark brown skin coloration, as their pigments would absorb bluer wavelengths while reflecting redder ones. Thus, it should come as no surprise that they're also known for their radiation shielding technology. So the question that I pose to you now is, do you want to see the Sheliak make a comeback? Let me know down below. This essay was originally part of a larger video that I made about my video production process. That's why I originally filmed this video months ago, but I decided it would be better to separate the two. If you haven't checked out that video already, which I know most of you haven't, go ahead and give it a click. I think you'll enjoy it. With that, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below and don't forget to share it. That stuff really helps me out. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do that as well so you won't miss future uploads, and click the bell icon to receive all notifications. If you want to support my work even further, becoming a patron or member is a great way to do so. Links to those, as well as my social media and merch store, are in the description. And big thanks once again to Star Trek Fleet Command for sponsoring this video. Download Star Trek Fleet Command from the Amazon App Store on Android, or get it on iOS using the links in the description. That's all I have for this week. Live long and prosper.